Hey guys, Sam here, and welcome back to another episode of our Arsenal Career Mode series. What is the penultimate episode for this season, which has just flown by, courtesy of doing 2 months per episode, 2 in-game months. I don't know if it's been enjoyable for you guys, but it definitely has been for me. It is nice to get through these seasons quickly and just go and build this Arsenal team and get to another transfer window. But today is a massive episode for us. Not that there's too many fixtures compared to last episode and next episode. Next episode there is a lot of league fixtures to get through, but today we really get into the meat and potatoes of our FA Cup fixtures. And we also have the Carabao Cup final coming up first, but we did travel to the Etihad against Manchester City, a very, very tough game, and we pulled a 1-0 win off of a pretty lucky goal. I'm not sure what it is about Manchester City and just gifting us goals, but it seems that they always do it. And we do pick up a 1-0 win, which was really, really good to see we get a clean sheet against Manchester City as well. As we move into this home game against Bournemouth, we start off with an own goal off of a Reece Nelson through ball or cross or on the ground cross or whatever. And Reece Nelson was terrorizing Bournemouth, and there's another example of it. He was really good. I really like Reece Nelson. I gotta be honest with you guys. He's really, really quality on the ball. He's got great ball control, great dribbling. Of course, he's got the pace as well. Coming off the bench, he's fantastic. Speaking of fantastic, Rui, take a bow. What a save. What a double save. First one with his feet, second one just snatching it out of the goal and putting us and keeping us 2-0 ahead and keeping us confident against Bournemouth. As Upamecano makes it 3, we pick up a 3-0 win, and we start off today's episode fantastically as we head into this cup game now against Nottingham Forest. Now, my gameplay of one of these games was corrupt, and it was between the Bournemouth game and this game. It was a 1-0 win away at Sheffield Wednesday. For some reason, it does, I mean, the recording is fine, but it does not want to load up into Sony Vegas. And I thought, you know what, it's only one game, it's only Sheffield Wednesday, and it's a 1-0 win with 1 goal. So it's not a big deal if you guys don't see it. And of course, the FA Cup is upon us. It is the round of 16. We have Nottingham Forest, a team that we haven't faced in a very, very, very long time. But we had a fantastic showing. Some of the fringe players really stepping up in this game. And once again, Reece Nelson was a player that shone for me, and he has throughout the entire season. He's been really, really good. Nottingham Forest do bring one back and make us keep a little bit of pressure on us, but Zlatan Ibrahimovic's regen, whatever his name is, Engblom, I always forget his name, I think it's Engblom, he scored a fantastic goal for our 4th, and we make a 5 through the captain of the day, Mustafi, and we get a 5-2 win against Nottingham Forest. And speaking of Zlatan's regen, one thing I've noticed is he's really short, which isn't like Zlatan at all. It's very funny to see Zlatan's regen be this short Swedish striker, but he's pretty good, and we've been training him, and he's been pretty good. But we move into the biggest game of today's episode, and probably the biggest game of my managerial career. I mean, look, playing against Real Madrid in the Champions League is a pretty big thing with Leeds United, but I think this has to be the single biggest game of my managerial career to get some proper silverware, and what a start it is. The returning Julian Draxler, he's back from injury in time for the cup final, and he 1-2s it with Kovacic after intercepting the ball from the Southampton defense and puts us up within 2 minutes of the cup final. Lacazette doubles up the lead with 27 minutes gone, and we're 2-0 up against Southampton, which is just so good to see. Of course, we spanked Southampton 6-1 earlier on in the season in the league, so I was feeling pretty confident going into this game. However, Gabbiadini does bring one back just before half-time here for Southampton, keeps things interesting, and once again Gabbiadini on the ball, and how has he found the back of the net there? That is absolutely ridiculous. Near post. How has he done that? How has Rui let that one go in? I'm not quite sure. It's an exceptional finish from Gabbiadini. And Kovacic, with a chance to make it 3-2 before full time, doesn't make it so. So we head into extra time at 2-2. I thought I had a guaranteed penalty there. Lacazette getting taken down, not to be, but however, we do get the ball back through Schick, who came on as a cam. And what a run from Patrick Schick, my word. You do not expect that from a big man like him, but he really doesn't play like a tall striker. He doesn't play like a big striker. I mean, he has those elements. He does score headers. He wins aerial duels for fun. But he also has exceptional dribbling and ball control. And he wins us the game in the 113th minute. He came on as a cam, and he went to Lacazette. This is how you score goals. To be fair, Lacazette scored one as well. But those two have had a very, very fun competition in terms of the goal scoring this season. They've been neck and neck, really. And Jack Wilshere lifts up the Carabao Cup and my first piece of major silverware as a manager. Of course, technically I won the championship with Leeds United, but I'm not really counting that as silverware. This is my first major trophy, and I'm really happy to do it. So there you go, guys. 3-2 winners over the Southampton. Southampton making it much more difficult than I expected, so credit to Southampton for putting in an absolute shift and really fighting for that. At moments, guys, I thought I was losing it. There was a lot of times where I thought I was losing it, and just a couple of days later, we go from a cup final and the emotions of going into extra time to playing Spurs at the Emirates Stadium. Of course, we did pick up a 1-0 win against Spurs in the reverse fixture, but we had a lot of tired legs going into this game, and a lot of players were resting. And it's Lamar trying to make something happen, and he does so in front of the Emirates, in front of the Arsenal faithful. He's shushing. I'm not sure who he's shushing, but he's shushing someone. Someone must have been giving him something. I'm not quite sure. But what a finish from Lamar. I feel like he hasn't really scored too many goals this season, and his finishing at times has been suspect, so it was really good to see that. Pulisic, however, gets another opportunity, a second bite of the cherry off of a pass, and this time he decides to shoot. He thinks, you know what, I scored the first goal, I'm Captain America, I'm gonna do it all myself, and my word, with his right foot, which is technically his unpreferred foot, I believe, he makes it 2-1 to Spurs, and again gives us a bit of a battle to get back into this derby. I'm not looking to lose this, and Schick goes for an incredible dive, leaping out of the water like a salmon swimming upstream. Patrick Schick, this guy is so impressive. I was not expecting this from Schick. It's not someone that I use very often in career mode. This guy is a killer of a striker. This guy is a murderer. He's so clinical. Look at that leap, by the way. Can we just talk about that? That is a vertical leap like I have never seen before. You'd have to go to the NBA to see anything like that. What a jump from Schick, and look at him. He's not done yet. In the 90th minute, again, he's going for a bit of a dribble. He's taking everybody on. He goes to Yuri Medeiros, who says, go on, son, on your right foot, have a go. And Patrick Schick is my new hero, ladies and gentlemen. Now, he's whipping out the Lacazette celebration as well. What is that all about? Is that a bit of bad blood between him and Lacazette? Who knows? But Patrick Schick is on fire. It is undeniable. He has been so good as a second striker this season, and I gotta be honest with you guys, with his potential and his growth, he's already just one rating behind Lacazette. He's looking like a potential first teamer coming into next season, which is great to see, but we can't worry about next season just yet. We're still a little bit away. We're still a couple months away from that, and there's still a lot to fight for in terms of the league, but also the FA Cup. We also have another FA Cup game after this Swansea game. We had to travel to Wales first, and I was feeling very confident with this Swansea game. I'll be honest with you guys, I wasn't worried. We won 4-0 at home, so I wasn't really bothered. I was like, you know what, we can afford to rest some players going into this cup game, the FA Cup game that is, and I was just really, really comfortable. And when people are doing, when Asano is scoring goals like that, or when Reece Nelson steps up, or when Maitland-Niles steps up, when these players step up, it just makes me even more comfortable to rest the players. Unfortunately, we do give a penalty away to Swansea, and they do convert it, so the chance of a clean sheet is gone. But with a 3-1 lead and 12 minutes to go, Kolasinac nearly makes it 4, and Matip tried to make it 4, but we get a penalty back. So I guess it's a little bit even. Lacazette slots it right underneath the body of the goalkeeper. Not sure, I think that's Sillerson actually, from memory. And we make a 4-1. So again, we score 4 goals against Swansea. Again, we pick up a win. And although it wasn't a clean sheet and it wasn't the perfect performance, it was very, very good from these players. And back to the FA Cup. And once again, playing a team that we haven't played for a very long time, Bolton Wanderers. We only played them in the Championship in the first season, and it's good to see them again. I mean, they gave us a bit of trouble in the Championship in one of the games, I remember. It was a 3-3 draw after, I believe we might have been 3-0 up in that game, or it was 2-0 or something. They came back and, yeah, they scored in the last minute, and it left a bitter taste in my mouth. I remember that. But we just, I mean, it's day and night between Arsenal and Bolton. It's pretty simple. Another game that I was not worried about. I did play a strong lineup because I don't want to get knocked out of the FA Cup. I want to make a real push for this double cup, domestic cup. I don't even know what it is. A domestic cup double, really, is what I'm pushing for. Bolton actually do give me something to think about, though, in the last 15 minutes, scoring a goal. And I'm just hoping they don't get a last-minute goal. They don't get a last-minute goal. They don't break my heart once again. We pick up a 2-1 win in the quarterfinals, which means we've made the semi-finals of the FA Cup, which is great. I would love to get to the final. I'd love to see who else is in contention to get to the final. But before we take a look at the FA Cup bracket and the league table, one last game here in March, and it is against West Bromwich Albion. The last time we faced them was a famous 6-1 spanking, and we start very, very well here against West Brom. Kelly with one of the strangest goals I've ever scored. This guy loves pressing. I said it a couple episodes ago. His offensive pressure is insane. He always seems to give defenses a trouble. And speaking of giving defenses a trouble, you don't have to look any further than Julian Draxler. He's returned with a vengeance. And he's just kicked off exactly where he left off. The only thing in terms of the Tony Adams award that'll hurt him is that injury. Otherwise, when he plays, he scores points. That's pretty much that simple. And in the 90th minute, Kovacic makes a 5 after Kelly made it 4 with a cool finish. Nice work from Kelly. Kovacic makes a 5 in the 90th. Will we get an opportunity to make it a 6th? Yes, we will through Alexandre Lacazette. No way, 90th minute. Get out of here. 6 again, boys. We've just embarrassed West Bromwich Albion at the Hawthorns. We didn't have to give them 6. We didn't have to score 2 in the 90th minute. I'm pretty sure they would have been happy with a 4-0. We make it 6-0, which means back-to-back games against West Bromwich Albion. We have hit the back of the net 6 times. I apologize to the West Bromwich Albion fans. Okay, so in terms of the FA Cup bracket, that is what it looks like. We've gone through Nottingham Forest 5-2, we've gone through Bolton 2-1, and we now face Southampton, who of course we played in today's episode in the Cup final, in the Carabao Cup final. Maybe they can get a little bit of redemption and still win a cup themselves, so they're still fighting for quite a lot. On the other side of things, it's Fulham versus Manchester United. Huge if we get to the final, and so do Manchester United. What a game that would be. I would really relish that opportunity to face Manchester United. And taking a look at the league table, there's a reason I would relish taking on Manchester United, because they've defeated Chelsea once again. You'll notice Chelsea have now 3 defeats. They went into the episode with just 1, which means in today's episode they've got more defeats than the entire season combined. The other team that took points away from them was Manchester City at the Etihad. So 3 losses now to Chelsea's name, and actually that's opened the door a little bit for us. 5-point gap between ourselves and Chelsea. Of course, Manchester United also 5 points away, but we have a game in hand on them. So we have an opportunity now with a game left to play against Chelsea and just 5 points behind them. It's a long shot, but man, I really do believe we can get Chelsea here now. I mean, the Manchester clubs have opened the door, and I really do believe we can get them now. We just have to keep winning games. Today was a fantastic episode, by the way. We won all our games in February and March across all competitions, keeping the pace with Chelsea and keeping them under pressure while also staying ahead of Manchester United. So pressure from in front of us and behind us. But that is it for today's episode, guys. We have 72 goals scored in the league with 10 games left to go. I'm wondering if we could potentially hit 100 goals scored in the season. That would mean we'd have to average 3 goals per game for the rest of the season, which probably isn't going to happen, but the way we're scoring 6 goals for fun is just diabolical. We could do it. I believe we could do it. But like I said before, that is the end of today's episode. Next episode will be the finale for Season 4 of this career mode. A lot of games to play, of course. 10 league games and a cup semi-final with potentially a cup final if we can beat Southampton in the semi-final. So huge episode in the next one, guys. I hope you're excited for that, and I hope you're excited for next season as well in the Champions League, which is going to be a whole new dynamic for this Arsenal team. Guys, if you did enjoy, do leave a like on the video. I hope you did enjoy today's video. I hope you had a good day. I will see you guys in the next one very soon. Keep it real.